This is Trinidad and Tim. So far, we may have some other people join us in the middle of this, but we're going to talk about the top 30 prospect list that came out last week from MLB Pipeline. There's a lot of new faces. It's pretty cool. Really, and to be honest, some really young guys. I mean, like 18 or
We're
under.
looking at the whole top 30 is going to be under 20. No, 25, 23.
Yeah, it's amazing. So we're gonna get started right away. This is the Dodgers' top international signing from. Oh, first, folks, I must share my screen so that you guys can see what we have on here. And so the first guy is a young one, 18-year-old, just turned 18 in September. Samuel Munoz. I don't know, Trinidad, how much you've known about him. I was at spring training. He wasn't even there yet. So we probably know about as much as we can about him.
I mean, I don't know too much about him. I know he was just a signing from, what was it, last year? So, I mean, he's still up and coming. I mean, I know he was like the number 3 or 4 top prospect in the international draft.
Yeah.
He was something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I mean, you already know how the Dodgers are. They always like to go for the top, 5 or top 10 prospects in the international draft. And I mean, it looks like we're just going to keep stacking up on outfielders as well now, too. I mean, he's very young still, so we probably won't see him anytime soon coming up into Rancho or anything like that, probably within the next year or so.
Yeah. So he, like I said, he's 18. He's 6'3", bats left, throws right. When he was signed, they said as a third baseman, but I literally texted him, asked him what was going on in his DMs, and he said he's going to be an outfielder. So that sounds good. His hit tools at a 55. So for the uninitiated, Dodgers 2080 gets its name from these grading standards. It's that scouts use a 20 to 80 scale, and his hit tool is a 55. I think some of these things are really tough to tell. He's literally still a growing boy. What is very interesting to me is in the Dominican Summer League, he did hit 347 with a 429 on base percentage, a 491 slug for a 920 OPS. He only hit 1 home run. Again, he was doing this as a 17-year-old. So the man strength isn't there. What's that? 34 Ks in 173 at bats. Typical baseball player these days.
Right.
With some decent walks though, and the RBIs are pretty high. Not people are like, oh, that's not a big deal, but you know what? Maybe it shows something. And he did have 12 doubles. If you go, well, in 173 at bats, he had 12 doubles. Now, let's say he gets 550 at bats. All of a sudden, that becomes 36 doubles. So this is 18-year-old Samuel Munoz. We're going to hopefully get some more content on him sometime. He's like I said, I've had some contact with him, but he was not at spring training when I was there. And so that's Samuel. And now we go to number 29, Logan Wagner, who was a draft choice in 2022. He was what they say. He actually was, even though he's a 6th rounder, he had their second highest signing bonus at 600,000. He is a ripe old age of 19, born in 2004. So he just had a birthday. He just turned 19. Happy birthday, Logan. A few days late. I met Logan at spring training. He is a really nice kid. He's a switch hitter. He's out on the field and he's working hard. He's one of those guys that talks a lot on the field, which I like. As I learned when I grew up playing baseball, baseball is a loud game and I want voices out there. So, and he was a shortstop like most hot shot kids in high school, but the Dodgers already have him playing third. And to be honest, Trinidad, I think we get him at some point.
We might get him actually at the beginning of the year.
We could. They were playing him a lot. He was getting a lot of playing time. He was on the same field a lot with Doncon and Diaz. Yeah.
Okay.
So Yeah, he was on the field a lot with them. Numbers weren't that that big yet. Still a growing boy. I'm not even sure he shaves yet. I mean, geez. Uh, nice kid. How much do you know much about him? Anything else about him?
I think I just heard about the same thing as well as Samuel Munoz. They have a 50 grade hit average. I mean, 50 grading scale. So I'm assuming they make contact, which is really good. So you may assume that they probably just put the ball in play. Like you said, they're still young. Well, the last two guys are still young. They're still under 20, so they still got a lot of man strength to develop. In the years to come.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my man strength. Let me tell you. Oh, it's gone. Okay, familiar face, Alex Freeland. However, there's a warning about this gentleman. Like a few other guys, he cut his hair.
Oh.
I didn't recognize him, and I'll tell you a story later about another one pretty soon. That was a little surprising. With the hair and everything. Let's see. So I'm just moving stuff around here. So talk about Alex Freeland. I'm sure you saw him at Rancho.
I did actually. I actually saw him hit one to the moon, and I think that ball's still out in the in orbit somewhere. But I know we drafted him last year as well. He was part of the 2022 draftee class, so I know they consider him a shortstop. I know they say they might move him around in the infield probably, but he's going to be a shortstop probably more than likely. He is a switch hitter, which is good, and we do need to develop shortstops because now that Jacob Amaya is gone, we don't really have a shortstop prospect out there right now, other than the fact that most of the names we have are all still under AA.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think really, and we'll see him later. Is Eddie's Leonard might be our main shortstop prospect, which is
It
fine.
might be, yeah.
We like Eddie's. Eddie's a good one. So just a comparison. Now I hate to make it because he's on the Giants, but and Alex does not have greasy hair like Brandon Crawford, but Brandon Crawford is not a guy that's really fast or anything like that. But we got to give it to him. That guy was an excellent shortstop.
Yeah.
So, we got to we'll give it to that guy. Not that I really like it that much, but yeah, that's a guy that that's what I'm thinking of in terms of comparisons. Let's see the next one. I can't remember. Oh, it's coming up. I think oh yeah. A guy that's had 2 hits in 2 days in the major league games. I don't know if you saw it today. He had a double.
Yeah.
Cal Baptist zone, Damon Keith, who really, let's be honest, he was an 18th rounder. He has come out of nowhere to get people's attention, and it's for good reason. I mean, tell us more. I mean, you've probably seen him more than I have. Tell me a little bit about Damon.
Yeah, he's one of those sneaky guys that really nobody even knew about him. Yeah, like you said, he's a very late draft pick. When we saw him play in the outfield, he was making literally outfield assists like every other 2 days, and he played mostly right field, which is really good because right fielder's known for guys who have great arms, and he does have a lot of pop in his bat too. Every game that I normally saw him, it was either a double or a home run almost, and his OPS was was literally at like a 900.
Yeah, with Rancho's 933. Then he, a little bit of struggle there at Great Lakes, but the fact, I mean, he was looking good from what I saw at spring training the previous week, and then he is getting some time with the major league roster, which couldn't happen to a better guy.
Right.
Yeah, he's a great dude. And then again, as Trinidad and I both know, these are all really quality human beings. And speaking of quality human beings, Jesus Galiz,
who I expect him too.
Yeah, we better get him. So he is not, a monster. 6 foot maybe, okay. But what he does, the guy, first of all, he's picked up English very fast.
Okay.
So he definitely talks to me in English. I spent a lot of time with him during when I was there. Just a good guy to talk to. The desire is truly there, but it sounds like he's really made a lot of progress behind the plate. He doesn't look like a catcher, the old school pudgy catchers and all. He's a really good, well, athlete. And so I like what I've seen so far behind the plate. The arm is a 60, so that's good, and that's good for a catcher. Overall, his fielding is a 55 overall for fielding. The run, whatever. He's a catcher. We don't care. We just got to get the hit up a little bit, I think. He's admit he's had probably not what he wanted in last year, but he did hit. His OPS was still 814, so in 85 at bats, 4 home runs. That's good. We like that. And
As the
then
great Billy Bean says, as long as he gets on base, that's all that matters.
yeah, and he's one of about 10,000 Venezuelan catchers in the Dodgers system.
Right.
And I'm it's kind of an exaggeration, but maybe not as much as y'all think. There are a lot of them, and they're flipping good. That's what my biggest takeaway was at the lower levels. Well, lower levels are loaded at shortstop, like you said. Below AA, there's a lot of dudes. Catcher, top to bottom in this system, from Diego and Hunter Fiducia all the way down past Jesus, down to Theron Lorenzo. Oh my gosh.
He's not way too many.
Oh my God. And they're good. A lot of thump there. So that's the first, 30 through 26. We're going to continue with the next few in our next episode. So thank you for watching, and we will be back at you in a minute with our next group of players.